The following episode describes in detail reported speculation and alleged whereabouts of a missing person and unproven reports of actions taken by family members, friends, and other relations. Listener discretion is advised. What happened to Sabrina Hatheway? That's what people in Worcester have been asking for more than 8 years. Arguably, the missing persons case that has received the most attention over the past decade in Worcester is the disappearance of 23-year-old Sabrina Hatheway. Sabrina was last seen on December 20th, 2014, allegedly at the home of her boyfriend, Kevin Crozier, on Dixfield Road in Worcester. 12 days later, on January 1st, 2015, the Worcester Fire Department responded to a structure fire at the Dixfield Road home. Officials ruled the cause of the fire to be arson.
Unsolved Worcester is brought to you by the following sponsors. Follow the crowd through the doors of Donut Homies and say hi to Haley Noel, the donut queen of Worcester's Canal District. This month, the specialty donut shop features special flavors like chocolate-covered strawberry and red velvet creme brulee. Donut Homies is open inside the Worcester Public Market at 160 Green Street every Wednesday through Sunday at 11 a.m. Online ordering with delivery and pickup options is available at donuthomies.com. Follow Donut Homies on Facebook and Instagram for monthly menu drops, specials, and more. Donut Homies, everything sweeter with the homies.
Welcome to Unsolved Worcester. I'm your host, Dan Yeager. In today's episode, we share part 1 of the unsolved missing person case of 23-year-old Sabrina Hatheway, one of 10 unsolved missing person cases we will share this season on Unsolved Worcester. In part 1 of the 2-part episode exploring Sabrina's disappearance in 2014, we shared details of Sabrina's life before she went missing, evidence found following the 2015 New Year's Day fire on Dixfield Road, excerpts from a pair of February 2015 interviews with Sabrina's ex-boyfriend, Kevin Crozier, and theories posted to social media and other online outlets about Sabrina's whereabouts. Come back on Tuesday for part 2 as we take a closer look at the court proceedings of possible suspects in Sabrina's disappearance and the tragic aftermath in the years following. Unsolved Worcester will take a deep dive every Tuesday and Thursday into unsolved murders and missing persons cases under investigation by the Worcester Police Department's Detective Unit. We will be looking to the past, to missing persons cases that date as far back as the early 1970s and 80s. The most important question is this: where are they? The approach to Unsolved Worcester is this: shine a light on each of these cases, put a life behind each missing person's name, provide a timeline of events and important details, and ask questions that still need to be answered. Our goal is to remind residents of the Worcester area, both past and present, that there are dozens of unsolved homicides and missing persons cases that need resolution. We hope we can be the spark needed to solve a case. Sabrina Hatheway was just 23 years old when she went missing in late 2014. Sabrina is white, She has brown eyes, and at the time of her disappearance, Sabrina had shoulder-length brown hair. She's about 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing roughly 120 pounds. She has a tattoo with the name Julizer on her chest with angel wings. Sabrina had a tough childhood. Her biological father died in a fire. Her mother reportedly had a history of drug use and prostitution. According to a 2017 report in the Telegram and Gazette, at the age of 7, Sabrina was raped by a convicted child molester. Just 2 years before she went missing, the man who raped Sabrina approached her on the street and allegedly said to her, "I wish I had waited." For about all of 2014, Sabrina had been living with her boyfriend at the time, Kevin Crozier, at his grandmother's home at 11 Dixfield Road, a small side road off of West Boylston Street near the summit. She and Crozier had been dating for about a year before she went missing. Sabrina's mother, Brenda Hatheway, told a Telegram and Gazette reporter that Sabrina had 2 miscarriages in 2014. According to court records, Sabrina and Crozier had broken up on December 13th, 2014, just a week before Sabrina was last seen or heard from. On the night of December 20th, 2014, Sabrina and Crozier were allegedly at a friend's house for a party. The couple got a ride home back to the Dixfield Road house from a friend late that night or early in the morning on December 21st. According to the Worcester County District Attorney's Office, the early morning hours of December 21st, 2014, calls were received and sent from Sabrina's cell phone. Details of those calls haven't been released, and Sabrina hasn't been heard from since. Coming up, we will share what Kevin Crozier told our producer Pat Sargent in 2015, and what happened the night of December 20th, 2014, and the days leading up to Sabrina's disappearance. Back in 2015, Pat Sargent, the producer of Unsolved Worcester, worked as a reporter for a local online news outlet. He had the opportunity to interview Sabrina Hathaway's ex-boyfriend, Kevin Crozier, in February 2015. Crozier reached out to Sargent following a report about Sabrina's disappearance to share his side of the story, supposedly in response to things Sabrina's family was posting on social media about him. According to Crozier, Sabrina left his home on December 13th, 2014, and he didn't hear from her again until they exchanged messages on Facebook on December 20th. The couple met up at a friend's house for a party. Crozier says they got drunk and got a ride home to 11 Dixfield Road from friends. The home was owned by Crozier's grandmother. He had been living there. He says when they got back to the house, he passed out. And when he woke up, Sabrina was gone. Crozier said Sabrina had gone missing before. He said on the morning of the 21st, he tried calling her phone, sending her messages on Facebook, calling family members, but no one had heard from her. Less than 2 weeks later, Crozier's grandmother's home at 11 Dixfield Road burned down. Crozier told Sargent he had been at a New Year's Eve party at a friend's house in Southbridge. He said he stayed the night there. When he woke up on New Year's Day 2015, Crozier said he had photos of his grandmother's burned-down house on his phone. But Crozier was lying. In late March 2015, less than 3 months after the Dixfield Road home burned down, Crozier was arrested in Florida on charges of arson of a dwelling and conspiracy. Crozier had set his grandmother's house on fire. He didn't do it alone. Coming up, we'll share who else was involved in the scheme to set the Dixfield Road home on fire and details on the evidence retrieved from the scene of the fire. Within 2 weeks, the fire at 11 Dixfield Road on January 1st, 2015 was deemed arson by investigators. A search warrant was issued on January 15th, 2015 to the Worcester Police Department to search the Dixfield Road home. Police retrieved part of a stained mattress, paperwork with Sabrina Hatheway's name on it, and the drain traps from the home's sinks and bathtub. A month later, in February 2015, the home was boarded up and condemned. A red and white X was posted on the front of the house, marking it unsafe. A reward of $5,000 was posted for anyone with information on how the house was burned down, but investigators were able to connect the dots fairly quickly. According to Worcester County District Attorney's Office, a burn pattern was found through 3 rooms in the house. Police canine alerted investigators to an accelerant on and around the bed in the master bedroom and on a floor in a hallway. Police didn't find any evidence of a homicide. Following further investigation by Worcester PD, detectives determined Kevin Crozier, whose grandmother owned the home on Dixfield Road, and his 2 friends, Lionel Bermudez of Worcester and Scott Phelan of Millbury, conspired to burn the house down. Crozier offered Bermudez and Phelan $1,000 each to help him set the fire. Crozier was going to pay them after he collected the insurance money from the fire. However, their plans were ill-conceived and futile. Further investigation by Worcester PD discovered the Dixfield home wasn't insured, and Bermudez and Phelan never got their money. A few years later, the Dixfield Road home was demolished. In the past 8 years, there haven't been any reported signs of Sabrina Hatheway's whereabouts. From the start, there's been plenty of speculation. According to Sabrina's family, first few weeks after her disappearance, they received a tip that Sabrina was in an abandoned home near the burned-down house on Dixfield Road. The family drove around for hours but couldn't find the house. The tip was a dead end. There's also a theory that Sabrina was involved in the conspiracy to burn the house down, and she had packed her things up with the help of some family members to apparently flee the area. The family even received a tip that Sabrina's body was buried somewhere in Idaho. In an interview in 2015, Crozier said Sabrina may have taken off with another unidentified man that Sabrina said had helped Sabrina pay rent for an apartment and gave her drugs, a new phone, and cash. In early 2019, a commenter on the Find Sabrina Hatheway Facebook community page said Sabrina's remains could be found somewhere near the burned-down home on Dixfield Road. But none of these theories have proved to be fruitful or have provided investigators with any solid leads on where Sabrina might be. Today, Sabrina Hatheway is listed in the National Missing and Unidentified Person System. The once active Find Sabrina Hatheway page now posts only occasionally on Sabrina's birthday in August and on the December 20th anniversary of the last time Sabrina was seen or heard from. Most recently, in December 2022, when family and friends gathered in her memory at a family member's home. If she is still alive today, Sabrina would be 31 years old. Come back next week for part 2 of the Sabrina Hatheway story as we dive into the court cases for the trio of conspirators and the tragedy that continues to follow Sabrina's disappearance. Thank you for listening. I'm Dan Yeager. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, please consider clicking the like button for us. If you subscribe, the next episodes will show up in your feed. Click the bell on the right and you'll get a notification of when the next episode is ready. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. We do read them all and respond to as many as we can. Anyone with information about the whereabouts of Sabrina Hatheway are asked to contact the Worcester Police Detective Bureau at 508-799-8651 or send an anonymous text at 274-637. Write TIP-WPD plus your message or send an anonymous web-based message at worcesterma.gov/police. Come back on Tuesday as Season 3 of Unsolved Worcester continues with Part 2, the 2-part episode special on the disappearance of Sabrina Hatheway. Be sure to visit Unsolved Worcester on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Unsolved Worcester. Listen to all episodes for free at unsolvedworcester.com and podcast streaming platforms including Spotify, Apple, Audible, and more. Special thanks to Spectrum News 1, the Worcester Public Library, the Worcester Police Department, the City of Worcester, Ron Scott at New England Sky Picks, and our sponsors for making this possible. Information on the disappearance of Sabrina Hatheway was gathered from multiple resources, including the Telegram and Gazette, the Charlie Project, the Worcester County District Attorney's Office, the Worcester Sun, Spectrum News 1, This Week in Worcester, Go Local Worcester, the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, and more. The Unsolved Worcester podcast music is provided by Tom LaBelzik of the Worcester Jazz Collective. This episode of Unsolved Worcester is written and produced by Pat Sargent. Drone footage provided by New England Sky Picks. Videography and editing by Colin Turner. Victim images are courtesy of the Worcester Police Department. Sponsorship information announcer Chandler Walsh. Be sure to check out the video for this episode with exclusive aerial views and more on our Unsolved Worcester YouTube page. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't miss another episode. Click the notification button to get alerts when new episodes of Unsolved Worcester drop. This program is supported in part by a grant from the Worcester Arts Council and the National Endowment for the Arts. To find out more about how National Endowment for the Arts grants impact individuals and communities, visit www.arts.gov.